Hey, honey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey everybody, I'm your board barista Fen, and you're watching the Geeky Grind here on the Board Barista channel of YouTube. And for anybody who hasn't caught a Geeky Grind before, Geeky Grind is basically just my weekly hobby vlog for Warhammer 40k, other D&D, other miniature type stuff. It's pretty much the hobby I'm into right now. I do have some other hobby interests, such as painting, drawing, and stuff like that, but a lot of what I do right now is all for tabletop wargaming. So we're gonna go through and show you what I got done. What is no longer gray or primed zenathal black and white plastic sitting on my table. So let's go take a look. Okay, so up here we've got three Sisters of Battle, two Arcoflagellants, and a Sister Repentia. These all came out of the Imperium magazine and are done up in my Bloody Rose paint job. So I'm using Flesh Tearers Red and Mephiston Red for the cloth on the people who are not allowed in Power Armor. Using that Flesh Tearers Red over a silver base coat for the metallics. Pretty standard painting scheme for me. And down here on the table we got my sisters with flying backpacks. I'm going to pan over a little bit so you can see the other ones. Yeah, 7 jump pack sisters, all painted up. There's actually one other one that's there. I know it's technically 8. The one that you can see is actually got the white frosting on the base right there in the back. She's actually from my previous ones. Just using her as my reference tool, be able to making sure I got everyone else painted up in the same color scheme. Again, these sisters and the sisters are up on my wooden painting handles. Both of those I need to go over the rocks, the ground base, with a dry brush of white gesso, just to make that snowy alien ground texture really come alive. And then they're all set. So I got all my sisters' minis except for the Castigator tank done up. Remember, I airbrushed done, blew it up, so I wasn't able to get any more priming done on that. And I really wanted to look good, so it's hiding in the shame over behind my ruins right now, waiting for a new airbrush compressor and tank to arrive when I finally get the cash for it, so I can get that all done. And from days of long ago, you can see him hiding in the corner. Voltron, my Imperial Knight, is almost done. He's coming together. I'm not really ready to show him off 100% just yet, but the base coats are done. I got some washes to do over all the silver pieces. I got to figure out what color I want to do the pipes so they'll stand out a little bit differently. Definitely got to do a little bit more work on him. He's almost ready to be shown off. And so he'll hide over there more. Still got some bits of him are sub-assembled, the helm and everything. I want to show him off once I've got the helm all put together. But Voltron is coming together. Alright, and here we have my squad of Imperial Fist Blade Guard veterans. These are actually done up with the new Imperial Fist colored yellow contrast paint. These were a slap chop painting process where basically I did the zenathal highlight, then I went over with my contrast paint, and then I went in and filled in the rest of the details using regular opaque paints. It was a nice little hobby. I really love just how that yellow looks in person and on camera like that. I might need to strip an entire like 2,000 points worth of Imperial Fist and redo them with that paint, because I'm just loving how it looks. Still going to have to go over and do. I might do a wash on them. I might not do a wash. I might try to do a pin wash and just get really in the spots where it needs to be. But you know, they're battle ready for in my book right now. So I think I'm done with futzing with them for a little bit. They can go in the army boxes and get ready to get put on the tabletop. And over here are my Crimson Fist Blade Guard veterans. I like to try to make sure that I've got options to be able to run stuff in both chapters. And you know, when I need an extra unit and I've only got them painted up as one or the other chapters, you know, it's either the Death Watch has called them in to serve, or we've called the Last Wall Protocol, and we can just, you know, put all of our dudes together, mix and match. You know, it's how I roll with my Space Marines. One day when I'm playing in actual big tournaments, I'll probably actually have like a dedicated Imperial Fist or Black Templar or Crimson Fist or Death Watch army. But for right now, they're just gonna be what they're doing. And it wouldn't be Voltron Force without having the armigers painted up as the lions. I'm actually going to do, because I have 5 War Dog knights that are assembled to be War Dogs. Not War Dogs, Warglaives. Sorry, I was thinking Chaos for a minute. But I've got 5 all kitted up to be both melee and ranged units. So I'm going to paint all 5 of them to actually be the 5 Voltron Lion colors. So for all of our Voltron enthusiasts, yes, I've got Hank put together, Hunk put together. Sorry, I keep wanting to call him Hank. But we've got Hunk's yellow armiger put together and painted. Got to go and do some pin wash and some touches up, some weathering effects, but base coated, ready to go on the table once I finish the basing. Princess Allura's blue armiger is put together, and she is ready for some more finishing touches on the base, some washes, some weathering, but base coat step is done on her, and Pidge is hanging out in the process of getting his armor panels all base coated over there. Sadly, Keith and Lance are both hiding out over here on the painting table. So black and red armigers are still waiting to be finished up. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other ones, my long range armigers, because I don't know what I'm going to do with the Helverins, because they suffered the fate of running out of enough silver to do with the airbrush. So I'm probably going to need to do all of their silver. I did get their Zenathal done with the airbrush before it died, so I'll probably be able to do the brush and get their silvers all done by hand. Means they're not going to be as smooth and as perfect as Voltron Force, but you know what? I don't care, because they're backups, and the pride and joy of my Knights army is going to be Voltron Force. But yeah, it's been really nice doing this and getting some cool time getting with my minis. And I know I wanted to do this all airbrush style and have these really cool finishes, but I think I've really improved as a painter, and this is really forcing me to do the multiple thin coats and going over and touching up at spots where maybe the paint was a little bit too thin or it was a little gloppy, and I gotta smooth that out. But it's really coming together. I'm really happy about it. And you know, as I sit here and I look up at my little nerdy shrine where Voltron sits up top of my dragons, I see a heavy arms sitting there, and I'm like, Heavy Arms Custom was one of my favorite Gundams, and I could totally do up one of my Helverins. I could totally do it with my Helverins, and I could do 2 of my Helverins in Heavy Arms paint jobs. Well, that would kind of be really cool. That would look really sick. Oh, I think I might have figured out the paint scheme. So tune in next week and hopefully you'll see the paint scheme. I know I'm taking Voltron Force, taking Voltron, and I believe I have enough space in the list for 4 of the warglaves. So I'm going to take Voltron and his 4 arms, his arms and legs with me, and that's probably going to be my list in main for the tournament. I know it's a very skewed list. It's a very off the wall. I have a ton of durability and some firepower, but I don't have a lot of firepower. Oh, I make up for it. I make up for it with pure absolute melee devastation. So being able to charge in and just smash things with the big giant fist and hack everything apart with saws and get some stubber fire and some big melty guns. So it's going to be a list. It's I talked last week about dealing with setbacks, and this week it's a lot of my journey in 40K has been trying to have fun and not trying to win at every cost, but really learn the game, be able to get better, and not take it as seriously as I used to take Magic. And I feel like I'm doing that with my sisters, and I came really close last tournament. If I would have had painted, if I would have been able to hold one more objective during my last game than my opponent did for at least one more turn, just got an 8-point swing and had my army painted, it would have been first or really, really close to first. And I know I wanted to bring that back this time, but we're scaling back. We're not doing the 1,500 point value that we were planning on doing for this tournament. The shop in Holton has moved to a new location, which means that space is available, but the space isn't ready yet. So chances are we're not going to be able to play in said new space just yet. We're going to have to make do, playing on some smaller tables, doing some 1,000-point games. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to be playing 1,000 points and I'm going to have to scale my army back, I might as well just bring 5 knights and be able to not have to worry about the whole thing of, like, a big part of that game, of that tournament, was the whole fact that my games all went to time and I wasn't able to finish my last round. A lot of those times I could have gotten one more turn, could have scored a few more points, and that would have actually bumped up my differential. But again, games all went to time, and I want to try something a little more streamlined. I feel like when it comes to playing 40k, Knights is definitely like the mono red version of 40k's aggro deck. And this army is very aggro. This army is designed just to get across the table to score. I think I'm just, most of the games I'm going to meme, and I'm just going to take the 3 basic secondaries you take in the army: assassination, engage on all fronts, and grind them down. Because not only do each of those are the default secondaries in Arcs OM games, they're also the ones where when you accomplish this mission with a troop or an armiger, which I have 4 of in the army, every time one of my armigers is actually able to score one of those secondaries, I get another command point. so I can use a lot of command points and be very command point heavy. My one character is the Herald. That is the only upgrade I have done on him. Didn't give him the multi-gun, didn't give him a rocket pod, just giving him Herald for that 20 points. So he's 400, Voltron is 420 points of pure melee aggressiveness and is able to give the other armigers a 4-up invulnerable save, and that invulnerable save will stick around as long as Voltron is on the table. So he's able to do that to one of the ones that's being affected by the bondsman ability to give them that save. So he's all set. As long as Defender of the Universe is around, the other little knights will be able to stick around, and I can charge one of those suckers right up into my opponent's side of the table, start scoring and engaging all front, start scattering behind enemy lines, easily get a command point farming off of that, easily send some of these guys in, get into melee with their characters, start killing their characters straight off, scoring command points and secondaries. It's going to be the small missions, so probably it's going to be like 4 or 5 objective markers. Got 5 guys, big, heavy, lots of wounds, lots of toughness. So it's going to be hard for people to shift me off of stuff playing the Free Blade Lance, so they're going to be able to heal up 1 point every turn. So I'm hoping, everybody's probably going to take a lot. I see it being 1,000 points. You take a lot of troops because you want to be able to make sure that you stay on your objectives and you can hold your objectives. Like 1,000 points playing for the primaries is a key way to win the game. When you're just like, we need to do this. You can't just go out and kill, because if you aren't able to kill, then you're going to get outscored on primary, and you need to be able to hold your objectives to get primary. And I think camping out Voltron, have him on a big center objective and just basically there to hold it, and pop out bondsman abilities on the different knights as needed, giving them better saves, throwing them into melee so they're not getting shot by big guns. And if there is some big beefy melee guys, then I guess Voltron's going to have to come in and destroy a Robius or something. But it's going to be fun. It's actually going to be like the first couple of times I've ever played Knights. So yeah, this tournament's going to be a train wreck. It's either going to be a train wreck or it's going to be a really fun time. And I definitely plan to bring the camera and get my games for that on camera. Probably not going to be able to give you a lot of really good shots. We only got 1 camera here at Board Barista Productions. We seriously need some more. So if you like what we're doing, remember to hit the like button, share, subscribe, all those things. Let YouTube know we're doing a good job. We do have a Patreon. If people would like to support us in a monetary way, link to our Patreon is down below in the video description, along with some other links where you can get merch, as well as, if you are foolish enough to want to actually buy me some stuff and say thank you for all this cool content, there's a way to do that down below too. But don't worry, I'm set on stuff. You don't need to send me anything. Just hitting that like, share, and subscribe, and interacting those cheap ways is enough for right now to help the channel grow. So thank you, bless you, may the force be with you, and peace.